There's been a lot going on, as you might imagine, so the major sort of task we're working towards really is mating those two sections together, the centre section and the fuselage section. So it's all systems go really, trying to get both of those prepped and ready. We've had to delay that process by a few weeks because there's just a few jobs that we wanted to get finished off really. We could be in a position to put the centre section and the fuselage together now, but that would just make those jobs a little bit more difficult. Outside of that, there's all sorts of different jobs going on. You can see in the background the guys are paint stripping and cleaning, so we've got lots of different control surfaces, some that are already here at Coventry and some that we inherited in the States. So it's a question of cleaning those, stripping them back, looking for imperfections, seeing which ones are going to be best utilised and repair them where necessary. And once that's done, they'll be primed and then they'll go off to be recovered with the fabric and dope.
We've been paint stripping the metal surfaces of the tail section and the elevators. This is twofold. Basically, first of all, to remove all the old paint and primer, and secondly, it gives us a good chance to actually check for any defects in the metal and any repairs, plus any horror stories that may appear that we have to address before we can go any further with the piece. Yeah, there's quite a lot involved. Tailplane, elevators, we've done flap sections, fuel tanks, oil tanks, even down to really small parts that are being taken off the airframe prior to the larger section that they've come from being prepared for paint. All in all, quite involved. Yeah.
Work's continuing on the engine, so you can see behind us we've got two Pratt & Whitney engines which have been overhauled in the US and shipped over here to Coventry in the UK. We've got a third engine being overhauled in the US at the moment. That engine will act as our spare. We've got a couple of dish pans over there and the baffles over there. We've worked already on some of the engine controls there behind us. They've been painted and ready to go, and we're just sort of going through what engine accessories we've got here at Coventry and which parts we need to order in really. So once we've done that, the process will be to mount the engines and the frames and put them in that jig you can see behind us, and then they'll slowly be built up around the frame and put onto the aircraft ready for test running over the next probably 6 or 8 weeks. So the first visual change you'll probably see since you've been here last is we've got some green paint on the fuselage. Obviously the etch primer's gone on first, and then we've got the primer you see behind us on, which looks fantastic. It's a huge milestone for the project and it sort of gives a great visual impact of progress really. But besides that, work's continuing inside the fuselage. The guys have still been working inside, so they're replacing some of the floor beams and cleaning the fuselage and putting some etch primer in there ready for some top coat to go in. The cockpit's a major area that we're concentrating on at the moment. There's a huge amount of work to be done in there, sort of cleaning out all the grime and gunk and sort of pulling out all of the hydraulic cables and all of the electric cables, removing the instrument panels. So that's probably going to continue for another few weeks as well, ready to put the top coat of paint on the fuselage. And also the centre section, you can see there's still lots of structural work taking place on there. All the plumbing for the oil, the hydraulics, the fuel lines, the fuel selectors have gone in there, and the other bay's got some etched primer on it now. So there's plenty of work still to be done, and all working towards marrying these two sections back together towards the end of September with any luck. So keep your eyes on our social media. We're on Facebook, Membry Airfield Memorial Flight, Twitter at Fright521, and Instagram the same. And also keep your eyes on World War II Nation and daxovernormandy.com. There's lots of pretty cool stuff going on there as well.